Hi guys, welcome back to our Wellness Wednesday series. And we have spoken so many times about happy hormones, and we've spoken about bad effects of cortisol hormone. But then what exactly is cortisol hormone? Today we're going to talk about cortisol. Cortisol is a hormone which is secreted when our body is under stress. It is an important hormone. It is not like we don't want cortisol to secrete. No, cortisol has its good functionality also. But since it is a stress hormone and we do not want it to be secreted in excess, that is why today let's understand what are the conditions or times when cortisol is secreted, right? So cortisol hormone is secreted by adrenal gland. Adrenal glands are glands that are on top of our kidneys. So we have two kidneys, so two adrenal glands, and cortisol gets secreted through these adrenal glands. Now, the first and very foremost reason why cortisol is secreted is stress. When our brain perceives any situation as a stressful situation or a harmful situation, that is when it stimulates our hypothalamus in brain. Hypothalamus secretes CRH, and that activates our pituitary gland. Our pituitary gland secretes ACTH, and ACTH activates adrenal glands to secrete cortisol. So whenever you feel stressed, scared, or brain perceives any situation as harmful situation is when cortisol is going to be secreted. Second is physical activity. Whenever we do exercise, maybe moderate intensity exercise, then cortisol levels increase time being, and that is a normal response. That's good. We want it to happen. But when we do excessive exercise or very high intensity exercise for very long duration, then there is a chronic cortisol level secretion that happens in our body, and which is not a good response. So excessive exercise can be a second reason for cortisol secretion. Third is low blood sugar levels. Yes, when our blood sugar level drops, that is when our body cannot function properly. It perceives it as danger, and that is when cortisol levels are increased. Cortisol works good in this situation by mobilizing stored glucose into our body, and that is how it stabilizes the blood glucose level. So it is not bad that cortisol gets secreted when our blood sugar level drops. But secretion of cortisol for a very long time can be harmful. So don't wait till your cortisol kicks in. Just have something before that and stabilize your blood sugar level by yourself. Now fourth is inflammation or certain diseases. Whenever our body gets into inflammation or there are certain type of diseases, that is when our immune system secretes cytokines, and these stimulate cortisol secretion, and that is how our cortisol levels go up when our body is inflamed or we are having certain diseases. Fifth is emotional or psychological stress. Whenever we feel anxious or stressed or sad or frustrated or uncomfortable, this is when our HPA axis is activated, and that stimulates cortisol secretion. So whenever you're mentally stressed or unhappy, that stress also will make cortisol levels go up. Sixth is caffeine or any other stimulants, be it caffeine, alcohol, tobacco, drugs. Any stimulants will increase stress on our body, and this stress will stimulate cortisol secretion, and that is how our body cortisol level will go up. Seventh, a very, very important one, and most of us experience this, so listen to it carefully, is sleep deprivation. So if you have bad quantity of sleep, if you're sleeping less hours, if you have bad quality of sleep, where your sleep is disturbed and not good quality of sleep, or you have disturbed or disrupted sleep-wake cycle, in any of these conditions, your body is going to secrete a lot of cortisol hormone. Eighth is chronic illness. Chronic illness can in turn create a lot of physical as well as psychological stress in our body, and that will activate cortisol secretion in our body. So chronic disease, which is a very long-term disease, a person is ill for a very long time, will always have higher cortisol levels. Ninth, last but not the least, is hormonal imbalance. If you have imbalance in your any other hormones like thyroid, testosterone, estrogen, then this will disrupt and activate your HPA axis, and that in turn will disrupt the cortisol levels. It will activate cortisol hormone secretion, and that is how cortisol levels will go up. So these are very basic 9 reasons why our body secretes cortisol. And as we all know, cortisol is a stress hormone, and we don't want that hormone to be consistently high in our body. Excess cortisol levels on our body, on our mind, on our skin, on our body weight are different depending upon the reason why cortisol is secreted, the duration for how long the cortisol is secreted, and the intensity of cortisol levels. So the impact of this stress hormone on your entire life will depend on all these reasons, but it will surely have an impact. So guys, work on these 9 levels and try your best to not have high levels of cortisol to stay healthy and stay fit. I'll see you next week with another wellness topic, but till then, you take care. Bye.